Vikings win, Vikings win, Vikings win. The Minnesota Vikings win it. Welcome to the official game recap video, and the first happy one of 2023. I was starting to wonder if we were never going to have one because the first 3 weeks, especially the 1 and 3, were so fucking miserable. But we got the win, 21-13 at the Panthers. Could not have started in a more ominous way. The pick six at the goal line on the opening drive, and like 2 plays after we had a touchdown to JJ called back by was it holding on Oliver, I think, and that it took a while to bounce back from that. Like then they, we don't do anything on offense. They go get a field goal again. It's like, oh god, we're not really going to stop them on defense, and our offense is sputtering. But then we get that big drive to get in the end zone, 10-7. Really, the Vikings kind of dominated from that point on. But the screw ups continued. We get the thing. We're driving at the end of the second quarter. Probably going to at least have a field goal shot. Surprise, surprise! Ed Ingram gets beat badly. The guy gets in, hits Kirk's arm. It's just floats up in the air and it's picked off. And then of course they go get a field goal. Which, what a shock! It's a career-long field goal for their kicker. I wonder how many kickers have their career-long field goals against the Vikings. I guarantee it's a large number. And then third quarter doesn't start very well. And they're driving on us, and I was kind of thinking, like, this team doesn't seem to have a lot of fight, and they just don't seem to be. They don't have a lot of spirit, a lot of fight. Maybe it's just all these things going against them. A lot of these, like the quote unquote almost plays. We had one right at the end. Shortly before we turned over on downs, we almost had an interception. Like, these almost plays, we're just not getting any of them. I mean, there was another one today where they got a first down on a slant. It looked like maybe it was a fumble, but the ball bounced literally right back up into the Panthers receiver's mitts. We finally got one. They're driving. I forget how they were. I mean, they were certainly in range for at least a field goal. It was going to be a 2-score game, and our offense is sputtering. What are we going to do? And then we get that edge blitz. B-Flow was blitzing like a madman again today. We get the blitz. Smith Hitman knocks out the ball. Wanham picks it up. Wanham almost had a pick six early in the game too. He got his mitts on one. I think it was when they got their field goal, make it 10-7. I think he got his mitts on one and almost was able to house it himself. I mean, that would have been like a 90-yarder, so maybe he wouldn't have made it all the way. But DJ Wanham's right there, picks it up, and is able to outrun it and play of the season. I mean, at this juncture, that's the play of the season, because it was going to be a 2-score lead for them. Instead, we get the lead back 14-13. Obviously, we never gave up the lead at that point. And you could kind of see it. You could kind of see, like, having something go their way, having some success with, like, blitzing, having some success of any kind. It's like it gave them some energy, some extra energy, and defense was really good after that, except for that last drive most of the way. But watching the bonus coverage of the Eagle game, they're tied with Washington. Some strange scores today. I don't know what's going on with the Bears. Unfortunately, now I can't look at the score. The Bears were up, I think, 28-0 maybe, or 28-7, and came back to tie it. But that's, of course, the other 0-3 clash of the day. Like everything from that Wanham sack, or not the Wanham sack, but the Wanham touchdown on was really good. Marcus Davenport, hey, welcome to the Minnesota Vikings, Marcus Davenport. He got out there today. he got one sack officially. I think he had another one that looked like it was his sack, but you know, it made a difference. Like I mean, we you know you know the hope is that he can stay healthy now the rest of the season and be a bit of a difference maker there. It helps. I mean, whoever's been taking the snaps that isn't Marcus Davenport is not as good as Marcus Davenport. So if we can have him out there, that's going to help. But yeah, and then you know, we get down there, we get the free play. They didn't blow it dead. They almost always blow it dead on us. They let Aaron Rodgers run those free plays, never blowing him dead for 15 years. Seems like every time the Vikings get one of those our way, they blow it dead before we can even snap the ball. And we took advantage. Kirk fired a dart in the end zone. JJ, second of the day. Um, and 21-13, and then we could have put it away. We had a drive before the Panthers' last drive that we could have put it away, but we screwed around. We had a good run and then a negative run and then an incompletion. And it didn't even have to come down to any drama in the final couple minutes, but that's the Vikings. They're always going to come down to drama in the final couple minutes. And obviously that last drive we were screwing around. We were letting them drive down the field, but then we made a few plays at the end, and that's ultimately it's all that matters. Since we made a few plays at the end, we get the big another sack by Hitman. 3 sacks today for Hitman. Um, probably his best game in quite some time. Um, and and then obviously we take care of it. We get the sack at the end, and it's like, okay, we got the win. It's not an artful win. This isn't going to go down in the annals of Vikings lore as one of the great wins or anything like that. But I mean, it was an absolutely necessary win. Um, and it's not. There's no delusions that the quality of opponent is some great team. But I mean, we played like I mean, this was the worst game we played all year. It's just sometimes that's how it works. You could play a good game. Like I think we played for the most part a pretty good game in Philly, but lost. And today we played I think a pretty bad game, and won. It's just that's how it goes sometimes. Kirk absolutely had his worst game of the season by a mile, and yet you know they win. he plays mostly excellent for 3 games, and they lose, and he plays poorly and they win. So that's chalk another one up there for the QB wins people, but they won't learn anything from that. But yeah, Kirk was not good today. Kirk had some issues. Obviously, like the pick six was a horrible throw. Cannot do it. Because you're almost guaranteed at least you're almost guaranteed a 3 there. So you know, just we still haven't scored in the first quarter all year. But it was a terrible throw, and Kirk deserved to be ripped for it. Although we see it the glee that certain people express anytime Kirk Cousins makes a mistake, especially one where it really is all on him. The other interception, I don't put on Kirk. I put that on Ed Ingram. that was the thing that was driving me insane. Going into the second half was the Ed Ingram situation. It was terrible again today. Um, and I was, it's screwing you over. It's costing you points. It's killing drives, and you don't put in Dalton Reisner still. Like, I mean, he was working with the first. Like, they got to be working towards it. Maybe next week, Kansas City game, they'll do something. I mean, you can't kick away drives against Kansas City next week. That I know. Um, we got another score update. We'll update the scores that are live, which aren't going to be live by the time anyone watches this. And all the Colts came back on the Rams. A lot of big comebacks today. The Colts were down big. They've come back. The Bears were up big, and they've blown it as of now. I don't know what else is going on right now. But actually, let me just see what I don't even know if we have a game on 4. They always show the running score ticker. But and they don't have a game here. Okay. Never mind. I should have paused before I did that because this is meaningless. So, um, where was I? Yeah, you know, so yeah, bad game from Kirk. Um, he had like 130 some yards. I mean, it was not a good game. But you know what? Another one. Kirk's stats were bad, but we won, and I'm glad. All the Kirk haters that want to pretend there's this faction of Vikings fans who care more about Kirk's stats than they do about the team's win loss record. It's like I'll take a 130-yard Kirk game and a win every single week over a 350-yard Kirk game and a loss. But yeah, Kirk was not good today. This was probably one of the this was probably one of the worst games Kirk has played in a win probably in his Vikings career. Um, Run game was very good. Madison ran really well again. He almost got 100 yards. Um, in fact, if we had probably sustained that last drive there at the end, he probably would have gotten 100 yards. Um, Cam Akers got on the field though, and Cam Akers looked pretty good too. I think this will be a nice compliment. I think this will be what they do try to do going forward. Have Madison and Akers as kind of almost like at one point it was almost like they were alternating drives. That I feel like that might be something they do. But it's motivation for Madison. But I don't think Akers is here just as motivation for Madison. But I think it's an added benefit. But I think Akers is going to see the field a lot because he looked good out there. Um, and JJ got 2 touchdowns, and we didn't obviously do much in the passing game. Only got 130 yards. We didn't do too much else, but I think um, you know I think Hawkinson just got like 2 catches. It was a real quiet game for the game passing wise. But yeah, this was the defense is what made the biggest of the plays, certainly to turn this thing around for us. You know, I don't really know much about. I mean, obviously Carolina is not a good team overall, but I don't know if they are considered to have like a decent offensive line or something. So does it matter that we were able to get home on some sacks and some blitzes today? I mean, we didn't get home on almost any of them against the Chargers. You know, but I think having some success, it doesn't matter the quality of opponent. Like we gotta beat who's in front of you. We got you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, um, and you know, I think having some success now, having something go well, because the first 3 weeks it's been just, and even the first half, like the first 3.5 games this year have been just everything going against us, all the bounces, all the luck, big mistakes, a lot of them self-inflicted, but just a lot of just it's unrelenting. And then you have the pick six to start this game. It's like it's unrelenting. And I think to have stuff go your way in the second half and to get a win and to have something to feel good about, I think that'll help. That's going to help them immensely. Um, you know, so it doesn't matter who you played. You got to get the win. No, I mean no one's going to give him any credit for the win, but no one was going to give him any slack for the loss either. So, and no one gave him any slack for the first 3 losses. So, obviously, I wish we were sitting here at least 2-2, if not 3-1 right now. But but you had to get this win. You just had to get it, and they got it. And you know, there's still a lot of stuff to work on, but it's like you know, when you can at least get a win and then have something good to build off of. I still don't know. I still don't understand this thing with Ed Ingram, why he is still allowed to be in there. You've had Reisner in here for 2 games now, and you won't. And Ingram has been terrible in both of the 2 games. Still, you know, Madison seems to have had a fire lit under him to really perform. That has not happened with Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram is still the same terrible guard he was before. I'm not saying Reisner is Randall McDaniel, but I do not understand why you don't get him out there. I mean, maybe they will. Maybe it's just as simple as they still don't really feel like he's ready, like understanding the protection calls and all this stuff. But it's like, well, Ed Ingram has been here for over a year and he doesn't seem to understand anything. So, um, but yeah, I mean, there's not too much to talk about with this game because there's just not. It wasn't much of a game. It wasn't an exciting game. It wasn't even an exciting finish, really. I mean, it looked like it was destiny that it was going to be. They go tie it, probably get the two, and then maybe we drive for a field goal. But you know, who cares, man? I'm just glad we won, man. We needed this. I know the tank Nazis and all the fake fans who were beside themselves with glee then when Kirk got pick sixed. Um, they're miserable today, and I'm glad. I want these people to be miserable. I hope we can keep. I hope we can make them miserable a more regular thing. Um, but yeah, I'm just glad we got this win by any means necessary. When you're 0-3, you know, it's cliche. The first win's the toughest, and you know we're going to be chasing a couple of those losses that we've got that we shouldn't have had, but at least we got this win and some positivity. Um, and you know, it's really good that we got like Davenport out there and shows us what he can do, and you know, there's a lot to build on off this game. Even though again they were very sloppy and stupid at times, but and they're probably going to be sloppy and stupid going forward. I don't think we're ever going to see this team this year go on the kind of run that they went on last year of like just what they win like 6 or 7 in a row last year at one point. I don't think that's going to necessarily happen this year, but plus I don't know that we can win next week. I feel like the Chiefs game is to be worried about next week. Let's just try to enjoy this one. The tank Nazis won't enjoy it, but I'm glad. And we'll see what happens with some of these other games. Watching right now, we got the Eagles driving. Look like they're going to get a win, but who cares? We'll see. We'll see what happened with Broncos Bears. It's probably over by now, but we don't have to worry about who's joining us at 0-4. We're now joining some teams at 1-3, like the Bengals. I think the Bengals I believe, got destroyed today, so they're going to be 1-3. You know, we keep within 2 of Detroit, and we're within 1 of Green Bay. So we got to at least keep the division within reach because we've got all our games left against those 2 teams. And yeah, so I know I went like 45 minutes after a loss last time, but it's a little shorter after a win. But I'm very happy, very relieved. This probably was more relief than joy, but we really needed this win. We're 1-3, and hopefully we can build on this, and maybe there's a touchdown for the Eagles. Maybe we can build off this for next week. No one on the planet is going to think we can win next week, but maybe that's where we can really instead of just kind of stopping the bleeding, maybe that's where we can really turn the season around or start to do that. So that's all I've got to say about that. Good job, Vikings, getting that first win, and let's get a whole bunch more.